Shut up. I just wanted to say hi to them.
Shut up. Face the wall. Turn around. Turn around. No sudden movement, sir. Give me your hand. Give me your hand.
Yeah. And you weren't really sparring. You were fighting. We were fighting all the time. And just guys getting dropped all the time. And that was just the kind of gym that I was in.
But this wasn't a real fight. He was pulling punches. He wasn't giving it his full effort.
Joe Rogan responded to rumors of Jake Paul's arrest over allegedly scripting his boxing matches, emphasizing that no career achievement is worth risking one's life. He highlighted the real dangers of boxing and cautioned against treating them lightly. Rogan suggested that Paul needs to rethink his choices before entering the ring again, warning that chasing fame or money through hazardous fights could come with serious consequences.
You have probably seen some of the controversy he's been taking.
Joe Rogan stressed that boxing is a highly dangerous sport, and fighting carelessly can result in serious consequences. He also cautioned that participating in illegal or scripted activities could expose a fighter to legal trouble.
Because then you can't think, you can't do things, you don't know what the fuck you're doing in life. It's like literally everything is the quality of your ability to think. And
Nikki Sabadarian clarified that neither Jake Paul nor his team engaged in any misconduct or tried to manipulate the fight. Addressing widespread rumors that the bout with Anthony Joshua was scripted, he called them completely false. Nikisa noted that some online claims even suggested there was an agreement preventing Joshua from knocking out Paul, but he affirmed that Joshua fought fully and decisively, ignoring any supposed arrangement. He emphasized that Jake trained, competed, and took real risks in the ring, and added that legal action is being pursued against those spreading these false stories. This clarification, according to Nikisa, is essential to protect the reputations of both Jake and his...
I've seen the script, rigged, this, that, and the other. Do you think now, at the very least, that talk goes away? Broke his jaw, went in there against Anthony Joshua. At the very least, do you think that you guys can move on from that? Like, that won't follow you?
No, I don't. I actually, our lawyers are actively going after a number of people. One who claims to be a lawyer himself online. I don't remember the name or the handle, but it was something that had like 200,000 likes. And basically this post said there was an agreement for AJ not to knock out Jake, but AJ disregarded the agreement and decided to not get his payday, but knock out Jake Paul. So it's pretty astonishing what people say. Your dear friend Lou DiBella, saw him put up a bunch of ridiculous things and even said, Nikisa, go ahead and sue me. But this wasn't a real fight. He was pulling punches. He wasn't giving it his full effort.
And so for the people, again, just to clear this up, because I asked Eddie this question, I'll ask you the exact same question. Once and for all, was there any sort of arrangement as far as it should go this many rounds? Because that's the one that I've heard. Oh, Anthony agreed to 3 rounds, 4 rounds. Can you tell us in black and white if there were any talks of any kind between the network, the promotion, the fighter?
There has never once in Jake Paul's career been any talk of that sort, of anything to do with the fight being anything but a real fight that has exactly the same situation as any professional fight. And that's exactly the same thing here for the Anthony Joshua fight. It's just beyond mind-blowing that people would think that. Anthony Joshua was on record saying that if he didn't finish him in the first round, that would be disappointing, that it would be a failure. The narrative changed as we got closer to fight night and obviously post-fight, and I understand why, but they were pretty adamant it would take max 2 rounds.
Joe Rogan has already warned Jake Paul against repeating such reckless behavior. He urged him to think twice before taking high-risk boxing matches, emphasizing that no achievement is worth endangering one's life. Rogan highlighted the very real dangers of the ring and cautioned that chasing fame or money through staged or hazardous fights could lead to serious consequences. For any fighter, he stressed, safety and responsibility must always come first.
Look at all them celebrities like dude from the Mighty Ducks, the little boy actor that got strung out on drugs. And all his fronts and all his teeth were missing from being on meth or whatever, whatever drug of choice he was on. There's no coming back from that. The people who like dissipate their teeth through drug usage, you don't get like a second set. So if I'm not mistaken, the dude from Mighty Ducks, somebody like he's been clean, and they gave him a makeover, and he has like pretty much fake teeth. So yeah, the teeth are going to be cooked. Now, I agree with the other part that Rogan was saying, but let's keep going.
I think he went into that fight knowing that was probably going to happen.
Yeah.
And ultimately, the big win for him would be that he was even willing to do it and that he could do well for a little bit.
Yeah, and I've already expressed my thoughts on this. I'm not giving no props for a person who says I am a real deal boxer because I went and get smashed and got my jaw broken, but I lasted longer than Ngannou. But I was crazy enough to try. Because, to be honest, we're way past the honeymoon stage with a person like Jake Paul. You've been in this for long enough to go through fight camps, dedicate your time, effort, energy, money, spar with people. You spar with some quality names because you have resources and money or whatever. So we're well past that to the point where you just get credit for stepping in. You maybe got credit your first fight or whatever, first couple of fights, for coming from your background and, you know, stepping in and fighting, but we're well past that. You have a box rec. You were being ranked by sanctioning bodies.
Eddie Hearn offered a detailed breakdown of the Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul fight, emphasizing the strategic approach behind every move in the ring. He noted that the bout unfolded according to a clear plan, with Joshua's team prioritizing patience and calculated aggression over reckless punches. The strategy focused on systematically testing Jake Paul's weaknesses and stamina before landing decisive blows. Hearn highlighted that this methodical approach exemplifies true professional boxing, where
he said before the fight, I'm going to break him down and then I'm going to knock him out. And that's exactly what he did. I thought it'd be all over within 3 rounds. But, you know, when I got in the ring after, because I was shouting, just, you know, anywhere, arms. I got in, he went, what are you rushing me for? And I was like, oh, sorry. So, but like, obviously he knows what he's doing. And actually now quite pleased that we got the rounds, to be honest.
Yeah, I saw you said that. Really random, I was on Twitter and I saw Jake Paul's mum said she wants to get in the ring and punch you. She said she doesn't like the smug look on your face. She is promoting her book, so I'm not sure if she wants, you know. But did you see that? What did you think of that?
No, I was very sad because I couldn't have been nicer and more respectful of Jake and what he's done. And I think Logan's amazing. I think he's an incredible athlete. And I shook Jake Paul's dad's hand in the ring, you know. And if I would have seen Mum, I would have said, all right. But I think over the years, we've obviously had our beef, and she probably don't like me anyway. And I am probably a little bit smug. I wasn't smug after the fight because I would have been more smug if it was all over in a round. Yeah. So, no, I give Jake respect. And, yeah. Sorry, Jake's mum doesn't like me, but if she can send me a free...
Adam Catterall offered a frank assessment of the Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul fight, highlighting the challenges modern boxing faces when popularity and celebrity overshadow genuine skill. He argued that Paul's rapid rise owes far more to his social media fame than to true technical ability or experience in the ring. Even while holding back his full power, Joshua displayed exceptional control, timing, and precision, landing punches that exposed a clear gap in class between the two fighters. This contrast fueled speculation that external pressures, rather than pure sport, may...
Own credibility, I've got to knock you out, but I've got to try and knock you out where I'm not hurting you as much as what I could if I unleashed. Yeah. And with the punch you said that he landed, it's not his best punch,
it's
his most powerful punch, right? Yep. And he's shattered his jaw in 2 places, right? So Anthony Joshua gets his 70 million, whatever it is. But I think he's sitting there thinking, thank God for that. Thank God. On a human level, I've come out, all right, I've sort of, not reputation, but I haven't hurt him as bad as what I could have.
There should be an awful amount of people breathing a massive sigh of relief. Anybody that put that fight together, athletic commissions, like you said.
It wasn't a fight.
No, it wasn't at all. Like you said, it was a prize fight. It was an event. If Anthony damages him, he's got to live with that for the rest of his life.
Absolutely.
That's a lot of stress to deal with, you know what I mean? So I'm sure he's bleeding inside of relief. The team that have put him in there, that have negotiated that for him, but the authorities that put that on and commissioned it as a proper boxing match, I've no doubt.
Does that go on his... Because
yeah, it's a professional boxing
Do you know what? If I was Anthony Joshua, I would be saying, I don't want that on my record. Well, but for the credibility of them putting the fight on, they would have said to him, no. We've got to say this. It's been commissioned. It's going to be a proper fight. And Yeah, I found it. I love my boxing, but I just find the whole thing really, really unedifying. You said about get followers. You mentioned Tommy Fury. Tommy Fury is nowhere near is his level of getting like a British title fight or whatever. Nowhere near. So it's basically he's like
beat Jake Paul.
Well, oh yeah, sorry, yeah, beat Jake Paul. But so
yeah, but what I'm saying is that's 100. I stand by that, and I think Tommy would admit that. You know what I mean? To become a British champion is a very prestigious thing to do.
Sam Jones gave a blunt and straightforward take on the Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul fight, noting that the bout was difficult to watch not because of intense action, but due to noticeable technical shortcomings. He highlighted Paul's struggles with fundamental boxing skills, including basic defense, proper footwork, and timely reactions to Joshua's combinations. These repeated mistakes emphasize a clear gap in experience and ability. Some observers even suggested certain sequences appeared choreographed, seemingly guided to minimize risk for both fighters. While Paul clearly trained hard,
Joshua knocking out and breaking Jake Paul's jaw. Just talk to me right now about the fight itself, and then we'll break it down.
Bit of a crap fight, if we're all honest. It was like watching Jaws 2 when all the kids went out on their boats and they were in the middle of the sea, and the shark was just surrounding the boat, just like that's what it was like. It was just like it was like a shark circling its prey, and just like it was like nibbling, and eventually got him. But Jake Paul showed big plums in there, no matter what anybody says about him, because I've seen people say, yeah, he went in there to survive. Yeah, okay, he went in there to survive. He's a guy that's been boxing a couple of years against a unified champion of the world who can really punch. Yeah, it wasn't the best. It wasn't the best fight. It just wasn't the best thing to watch, was it? Like it was just, yeah, it weren't great. I just want to see now Tyson Fury against Anthony Joshua. I think at the stages of their careers they're at, AJ and Tyson Fury, we don't need to see interim fights, Andrew. We don't need to see interim fights because they're just potential banana skins. We want to see two of the best heavyweights of this era going at it. And
that's everything for today. Catch the next video soon.